My name is Matt Pfau. I am a developer of the Paralegal Certificate Program with NTI, and I want to give you an overview of this curriculum. The curriculum is broken into two sections. There's two classes. One class on one day of the week and one class on the second day of the week. We run it for 15 weeks. We have the practicum course and we have the law course. The practicum course will be taken in conjunction with the law course at the same time. And the reason for that is because the information you'll be learning in the law course will be used in the practicum course. The law course is taught by a lawyer. We also sometimes have judges teaching our law course. The law course is broken into multiple sections so that you can learn the areas of law that you're most likely going to get a job in. We have done significant market research in talking to other attorneys and talking to law firms that hire and finding out what are the areas of law that you need to know in order to get a job the easiest. What we've done is developed curriculum in the area of torts, in the area of contracts, in the area of civil procedure, family law, criminal law, and estate planning and probate. Those are the areas of law where you are more likely going to get a job in because those are the areas of practice in the legal industry where there are the most number of jobs. So we spend 4 weeks in torts. Now torts, it's a legal term, otherwise known as a civil right that you have to sue someone else. Most people know this, an area of this, for example, in personal injury. If you haven't been involved in a personal injury lawsuit, you've probably seen many billboards for it. Personal injury is a tort. It's when somebody has wronged you or taken something away from you. If someone has taken something from you, like your health, which is a tort, just personal injury, right? They've taken your health away from you, then you, under the Constitution, have a right to reclaim what has been taken from you. Now, you can't get your health back, but we do that with money in the civil system. It's a civil right. Okay, we don't practice eye for an eye anymore. That was done years ago. We are now civilized individuals. So rather than taking somebody else's health, we ask them to compensate you for your loss of health. Your medical bills, your pain and suffering, that's a tort. Now, other areas of tort, for example, are when somebody has taken your property or trespassed on your land. Those are also torts. And you have a civil right to be able to sue someone else. A civil right means that you don't have to rely on anybody else to protect yourself, your stuff. And that is a constitutional right that we all have. And so we spend 4 weeks going over torts. We also go over contracts. Everybody knows what a contract is. You probably sign one nearly every week because every time you click on that accept button on that software that you use or on your phone, you're signing a contract. So we teach you how to understand those contracts, what contracts are, what the provisions of a contract, what makes a valid contract, what you should be looking for in a contract. And we talk about breaches of contract and remedies, meaning what you can get if a contract is breached. We spend 4 weeks on contracts. We talk about civil procedure. Civil procedure are the rules of how our court system works. Someone once said, if you know the rules of the game better than someone else does, you're probably going to win. And so we are going to teach you the rules of how to win. I can't tell you how many times I've won a case because I knew the rules better than somebody else did. And we're going to teach you those rules. We're going to go through family law. Family law is a big area where you can get hired in. Family law obviously covers divorce, covers marriage, it covers adoption. It covers the rights of families and children when the families are being affected by the courts. Those are areas that you're going to need to know if you want to practice in family law. So we teach you family law. We teach you estate planning and probate. What are the instruments in estate planning? How are they created? Why are they created? How do you transfer assets in estate planning? And how does probate work and what is the probate process? We cover that because estate planning and probate is another huge area of law where you can get a job. We cover criminal law and criminal procedure. A majority of my students have always found a fascination with criminal law and criminal procedure, and I think that's because of all the wonderful television shows that are out there that show us interesting things about criminal law and criminal procedure. And by the way, I'm a civil litigator. I'm a trial attorney. I do not do criminal work, but I've gone and I've sat in on civil cases, civil trials, and I've sat in on criminal trials, and the criminal ones are more interesting. But when we talk about criminal law, we talk about not only what the laws are and why they exist, but what's more fascinating is the criminal procedure. What is it that law enforcement can and can't do, and how are your rights protected by our Constitution? We teach you these things. Now, this 15-week program in the law, we call it a mini law school, because we are teaching you the same things that a first-year law student learns in 15 weeks. Now that might sound daunting, but what we're doing, instead of what lawyers do and what I had to do in law school, was read cases. Read a case, multiple cases, and then stand up and tell my professor what I learned from that case. We're gonna make it a little easier on you. We're gonna tell you what those cases are and what you should know from those cases. We're gonna tell you all the information, and we're gonna condense it down, and so that we make it easier on you, and so you get a 1 year of law school in 15 weeks. Might sound impossible. Take me up on the challenge, we do it. The second part of what we do is practicum. Practicum is where we teach you the skills you need to know to be a paralegal. It's those skills, applying the law that you've learned and how to apply that law in doing things like researching, drafting, administration of the law firm, filing, how to use document management systems, and what AI is and how it can benefit you in your practice. We are teaching you how to practically use the information you've had. That's why we call it practicum. We give you research tools. Part of the curriculum is you will have access to Westlaw and Lexis, the two primary research tools. You will have those. We will assign you a case, real cases from the history of my practice in the law. I've scrubbed out all the personal information. I've taken that information, includes photographs, documents, reports, medical records if they exist, videos, and we create an entire file for you to manage from start to the beginning. It is practicum because you are managing a case from the beginning to the end through these 15 weeks. And we will teach you through this process of how to draft the necessary documents. We show you and teach you and instruct you, give you templates, teach you how to create the way that a lawyer would. In fact, we teach the writing skills that lawyers learn. The fictitious law firm Almost Lawyers will be your law firm for those 15 weeks, and we call it Almost Lawyers because that's what a paralegal is. And you're going to be drafting documents all the way up to a motion for summary judgment. These are motions that lawyers write, and we're going to teach you how to write. One of the greatest skills any paralegal could ever learn is how to write. And the reason for that is because if you can write for the lawyer, that lawyer will pay you more money. And so we want you to learn that skill. And we are one of the very, very elite programs in the nation that teach you how to write better than most lawyers. I'm confident in that because I take the curriculum that I have and I teach it to the lawyers that work for me. If you want the best opportunity to get a job in 15 weeks as a paralegal and not spend a bunch of time and extra money on other courses you don't need, reach out to us at NTI so that we can give you all the details on how to become a student.